Hello everyone and welcome back to a new lesson, and today we are talking about the uppercut and the right hook or the back hook. Okay, so we're going to talk about the uppercuts, different ranges of the uppercuts, when to throw an uppercut, how to throw an uppercut, and everything like that. Okay, so by now you should have seen the left hook video that I've posted the week prior to this one. And from that one, you should see all of the techniques for the left hook. Now, I said that because the uppercut is basically a hook that's coming up, which is the name of it, an uppercut. So you have the left hook, which we talked about last week. So it's here. And today we're going to throw the uppercut. Okay. So the uppercut is one of the best punches in boxing, and I'll tell you why. First of all, most fighters in boxing, they're watching chest level and they don't really see an uppercut coming up. That's if it's thrown correctly. There are some dangers to the uppercut. It does leave you open for some time while you throw it, but if you know when to throw it and how to throw it and what ranges to throw it at, you should be safe. Okay, so starting off with the uppercut, we start off with our stance, we start off with our shoulders. And just a reminder, I can't put my chin down because of the microphone. I'll ruin the audio, so I'm just going to keep my chin up. But if you are fighting, yeah, keep your chin down and tucked. Okay, now there's two uppercuts. There's the lead uppercut, there's the backhand uppercut. Okay, so both of them are the same punch, but the backhand uppercut usually has more power because from the stance, like I said before, we put more weight on the back leg. So from here, I could actually get more power into the back uppercut. The lead uppercut is kind of more of a quick uppercut, although it could be thrown with power, and there are ways to throw it with more power. Now let's talk quickly about the mechanics. The uppercut, you don't want to throw it standing tall because it'll be more of an arm punch, which isn't wrong. But if you want power on your uppercut, you want to start low and you want to come up with the uppercut. Now I've discussed leg, like how to put weight on your legs. So most of the weight is on the back. My hip is in. I'm not standing straight. I'm standing in like this. My weight is on the back of my legs and I'm sitting mostly on the back leg. So I'm here. I'm here, right? Now, like I've also said, the right elbow or the back elbow is tucked in and it looks like I'm holding a weight. And my right hand should be heavy or feel like I'm holding some weight in it. So now how do I throw the uppercut? Well, like I said, the uppercut is a hook that comes up. So it's the same thing as a hook. So in the last lesson, we said the hook looks like you're flexing 90 degrees and then you just put it to the side. Well, the uppercut is the 90 degrees, but it's just down here. Okay, so boom. Boom. Okay, very simple, but the hard part is actually with the uppercut, it's not throwing the uppercut. Most beginners throw it right away because it's pretty easy to throw. It's adding the body movement to the uppercut. Okay, so we're going to talk about the backhand one first, and then we'll go on to the lead hand. So the backhand, I have everything loaded up here. What I'm going to do is my right hip, because it's down here, I'm actually going to pop up. So here, my right hip is down. I'm sitting on my back leg and I'm going to pop up. Okay, that popping up is kind of the catalyst or the start of the uppercut. So I have it loaded, and what it's going to look like is I'm going to pop up. To bring back the uppercut, I go back down. But that's the main movement basically with the body for the backhand uppercut, is the pop up. Now you don't want to pop up where you're standing straight. I was just doing it to kind of emphasize on the movement. But you want to pop up and keep a little bend in your hip because you always want to keep your legs a little bit bent. You never want to stand up straight like I am right now. Here, boom, and it tucks back in. Now the backhand uppercut is great for power. It's great because it's not seen. So even up close, it's not seen that well from the opponent, especially if they have both hands up, and you can kind of sneak it in between their guard. But there are a lot of common mistakes with the uppercut. One of those mistakes is being thrown too short. Okay, what that looks like is Now say I'm this close to my opponent. My opponent is here and I'm here. A lot of people, when they throw the uppercut, they go up here and they take their uppercut towards themselves. You'll even see people hit themselves with their own uppercut when they miss. Tyson Fury, for example, but that's one example. But yeah, so if you throw it too close to you, like this, and it's coming back to you, you're gonna miss most of your uppercuts because you're probably throwing them from too far away. Now, when you're close by and you're foot to foot or shoulder to shoulder, you could throw this uppercut really close, but it's most of the time when you're gonna throw the uppercut, it's gonna be about from this distance, a short jab's distance from the opponent. And what you're gonna do with the uppercut is you're not gonna take it back with you, you're gonna feed it. You're gonna feed it to your opponent. So what that looks like is my opponent is here, I'm throwing my uppercut, I actually feed it to my opponent. Okay, I'm giving them my uppercut. I don't want to take my uppercut back with me. I don't want to keep it close like this where I miss their head right here. I want to give them that uppercut. Okay, so one way to think of the uppercut is that you're giving it away to your opponent. You don't want to keep it with you. Okay, it's opposite of like the hook that you're going to see the video of the week before this one, where you take the hook back with you. The uppercut, you actually want to give that to your opponent so it actually lands. Okay, so if you keep it too tight and the opponent is here, it's gonna miss. And yeah, so how do you adjust the range on your uppercut? Well, it's just like the hook, you use your elbow. So a close uppercut, my elbow is closed and I'm just going here. A longer uppercut, I'm opening up more and I'm coming up here. A long uppercut, I'm opening up like this. Okay, so there's just like everything else, there's different ranges to throw the uppercut. And if we go back to my jab video, there's different ranges for the jab. So if I'm jabbing from really far away, I'm probably not going to throw the uppercut because it is going to leave me open for a long time. And then my opponent's left hook could actually hit me before I get to them. But what I could do is actually get a little bit closer. So say if I'm this far, if I'm here now where I could touch them without stepping in, I could throw my uppercut like this and it'll actually land, and it does leave you open still, but if you know how to time it or when to throw it, then you'll get away from it. If you're closer, you can kind of here, give it to them, right? So it depends on how far you are with your jab from your opponent. That's how you choose the range on your uppercut. Now, I want to say something. Oh yeah, so with the backhand uppercut, the best way to get out after you throw the uppercut is actually to go under. And what that looks like is I threw my uppercut, okay, I know the left hook is coming. There's no point of covering up right after I throw the uppercut, especially if I go long with it, because it's gonna take way more time to go like this than if I just step under. So with the backhand uppercut, I like going under right after, or throw it, go backwards, or throw it, roll under. That's your best bet to get away from the left hook as fast as you can. As soon as you throw it, just go under and roll under that left hook. Don't try to like this, because the left hook will get you before you could bring your hand back. But that's for when you throw an uppercut with power and you're throwing it with your legs, okay? Now, I've said in many lessons that each punch has two versions. There's the arm version and there's the body version. So the arm version of an uppercut is just like this. I'm not using my body to twist. I'm not coming up with my hip. All I'm doing is I'm just throwing the punch on its own. Now, when I do this, I could cover up really quick. Just like the right hand. The right hand, there's two versions. I could pop it or I could put weight behind it. But when I just pop it, I could bring it back and cover up. But if I really commit to the right hand, then I'll roll under because it's a safer bet and it's a lot faster than coming all the way back, okay? Depending on the type of uppercut you throw, you either roll under if it's a hard uppercut and you're committing to it, or if it's a quick arm punch, then you could just arm punch and then do this, or you could arm punch and roll under as well. Now the uppercut, it's mostly thrown to the chin, But one of the best uppercuts is actually an uppercut to the opponent's body. Now here I have the bag, and this is still an uppercut even though it's not shooting up. It's an uppercut to the body. And what that looks like is, instead of coming up here to the chin, I'm actually just doing this, okay? So it's in the same position. The palm is facing up like an uppercut or towards you. But when you throw it, you actually don't curve it up. So I'm not curving it up. I'm actually just giving it straight in like a knife, right? And you're just to the body. Now, one of the best to throw this punch was Roberto Duran. He would actually throw it while he was rolling under. Marco Antonio Barrera, he did the same thing. He'd roll under with the uppercut, but this is actually one of the best uppercuts, okay? So a lot of beginners, they'll think the uppercut is just for the chin, but you actually could land it to the body. Now, the body uppercut takes a lot more time to develop and actually know how to throw it and time it. It is more dangerous because it does leave you open. But as you get better, you want to add that to your arsenal because it's one of the best punches. And it's really, your opponent can't see it. And say with the right hand to the body, right? A straight right hand. A straight right hand to the body, like I said before, you can't lean in and go down. You actually got to get as low as the right hand. But with the uppercut, because your hand is dropping, you actually don't have to get that low into the uppercut because your hand is already low. You could just throw it and you don't actually have to get low. So it is harder to see from the opponent's point of view. They could see this way more than they could see this. Okay, so it is a sneaky punch. Now there's different defenses to throw the uppercut, or different stances to throw the uppercut from. A lot of people, you'll see they'll do the shoulder roll uppercut like Floyd Mayweather. Boom, boom. There's people that go here, boom, like Winky, right? He'll be southpaw, boom, and then he'll bring it back. There's people that go with their hands across their face for extra safety. But one of the most important things with the uppercut is moving your head. Now, if I'm throwing my uppercut, I don't want to keep my head in the same spot or even to the head. I want to drop away from the uppercut and let my uppercut go this way while my head gets out of the way, just in case a right hand comes, right? So if the right hand's coming, or when it comes when I throw my right uppercut, I don't want to stay here to get hit. I move my head off the side. I move my head off the side. And then from here, my weight's here. Now it's actually easier to roll under, okay? So the uppercut, just think of it as a hook. Don't overthink it. It's just coming up. You can't throw it to the body. There's a body one where you use your body to generate power. And then there's an arm one where you just shoot it out, okay? Now what you'll see a lot of beginners do, they'll be standing tall. And then when they're about to throw the uppercut, you'll see them get low and then come up with the uppercut, okay? Now this will work against equal opponent, but against better opponents that see stuff, like I said in the beginning, they notice different things, level changes and as such. When I go drop to throw the uppercut for no reason, there's no punches coming at me, I just drop and throw the uppercut. My opponent can see it and they could time me with the jab, they could time me with the hook, they could step out of range and they could take that uppercut away from me. So what I could do actually is the whole time stay low, okay? So say this is my opponent, I'm gonna show you the two ways. So the first one is I'm standing tall, I drop and I come up with the uppercut. My opponent saw it. The other thing I could do is actually start low, especially if you're a shorter fighter. This is really good. So I'm starting low and I threw it and I came up with it, okay? So now my opponent, he saw me at the whole time I was low, okay? And then I just came up with the uppercut, so it was a surprise. They didn't see me load up the uppercut like I did in the first demonstration, okay? So if I'm gonna throw a big uppercut, I'm gonna stay low, boom, jabbing, and then come up with the uppercut. I'm not gonna be here, drop, and then come up, okay? Now, if I do wanna do that where I'm here and I wanna drop and come up, I need a reason to get down low, okay? And I want my opponent to give me that reason. So what I could do is actually wait for a jab or a double jab. I could catch, go under, and then come up with the uppercut. Now my opponent doesn't know that I'm about to throw it because they just think I slipped from the jab. Or I could throw my own jab in my opponent's face, right? Cover their eyes, get low, and then come up, okay? So if you are going to load up the uppercut before you throw it, either do it from before you get close to your opponent or have a reason or make up a reason to get low and come up, okay? But don't just get low and come up with the uppercut without any setup or any reason, because your opponent will just see it and then they'll get out the way, okay? So I'm talking a little fast. Lost my breath. Shh, gotta breathe, okay? So that's the thing for the right uppercut for now. Now I'm gonna switch over to the lead uppercut. Now the lead uppercut, a lot of people have trouble throwing this one because they're not able to generate power on it, and I'll tell you why. So we talked about our stance, right? Now what a lot of people do with their lead uppercut is they just throw it even. So the lead uppercut, you want to already have your weight here on your left leg, so you could throw a right hand, you could slip, you could jab and slip. But you want to do from here is the same idea as the backhand uppercut. You're going to pop that hip, it's here, I'm going to pop that hip up. Same time I do that, that's when my uppercut comes in, okay? Now the reason you're not getting power on that, even if you're doing these things, is watch my arm. My arm is sideways, okay? And the opponent's head is here, so it's going to miss first of all. And the second of all, it doesn't have anything behind it. There's nothing here behind it. What I want to do with the uppercut is get my body behind it and kind of, so here's two different ways. Boom, boom. Okay, you'll see fighters, if you stop the fight or pause when they throw the lead uppercut, they're actually, their elbow is above their knee. Because they didn't stop at here, they kind of twisted their body and they pulled their right shoulder back, and then now they're here. Now you generate power because now your elbow is supported and you added that. Okay, you didn't just go like this, or you didn't just go like this. Okay, so I'll show you again. Here, I'm not just going here, I'm twisting and I'm literally sideways when I throw my uppercut. And that's how I could generate a lot of power with the uppercut, with the lead one. Now the lead one can be thrown from a little bit farther than the backhand uppercut. The backhand uppercut needs more of a setup because it is coming in from the back. But the lead uppercut, there's two of them. Like I said, there's the arm punch and then there's the body one. So I could use it off a jab, okay? There's no power, it's a quick shot. Or I could throw it with power. Now the lead uppercut, I like it the most for throwing it off of a jab or off of a hook, okay? Now I'm going to let you in a secret of 3 punches that should always work together, or you could make combinations out of them. They're all arm punches. It's the jab, the hook, and the uppercut, okay? Those 3 punches can give your opponent a lot of problems defense-wise and keep them busy on the defensive side just from those three punches. So you could throw a jab, uppercut, hook. You could throw a hook. You could throw a jab, hook, uppercut. You could throw an uppercut, hook. You could throw a hook, uppercut. You could throw a jab, hook. You could throw a jab, uppercut. There's endless combinations with those 3 punches. Now I said all of them are arm punches, so they're all quick. But what you could also do is make the last punch hard. So what I could do is throw a hard jab. I could throw a quick jab, a hard hook. I could throw a quick, hard. I could throw a quick, hard. So those 3 punches together, you could either throw 2 at a time, which is like a jab, hook, jab, uppercut, uppercut, hook, hook, uppercut, uppercut, jab, okay? You could keep them all fast or on the last punch. So I could go like quick uppercut, hard jab, quick jab, hard uppercut, okay? But those 3 punches, they're safe to throw because you're far away from your opponent, right? You got your right hand across, you're leaning to the right, boom. They're really fast, they're really safe to throw, and they give different angles for your opponent. So your opponent has to move their hand around, and that gives you more options for the right hand, okay? So that's what I like using the lead uppercut most, or for. The right uppercut, I like getting under my opponent's jab and coming up with it, okay? Now, The lead uppercut, you could actually throw it to the body also. So it could be like here, where it's the same way you threw the backhand uppercut. You're twisting, but as you twist, your hand doesn't come up. It goes straight in. Now that's also one of my favorite body punches to the solar plex. So we could be boxing. You could just sneak that in right there. It's here, and you could just sneak it into the opponent's midsection right here to their solar plex, and you could actually like throw it, boom, and then the next one come around, okay? So the lead uppercut is a little bit different than the right uppercut, because the right uppercut, it's mostly for power or to get something in to set up the left hook or anything like that. But the lead uppercut is so much more versatile. You could throw it with speed off of different punches. You could throw it to the body. You could throw it to the chin. You could throw it off the jab. It's a lot quicker to set up than the backhand uppercut. It's a lot harder to see from the opponent's point of view. And it's just a good overall punch to make your opponent close up. So uppercut and then come back with a hard hook. It really gives your opponent problems. Alexis Arguello was one of the best at this. He would like jab, hook, jab, uppercut, and just set up the right hand and set up big punches with that. Okay, so the uppercuts are dangerous to throw because they are power punches. But knowing how to set them up is the big thing here. And that's why you want to focus on is when to throw it, how to set it up. Make sure there's a reason you're throwing it. Don't throw it for no reason. Because if I just throw an uppercut, I'm going to get hit. I like the right uppercut. You could either be offensive with it if someone's covered up, or if someone's jabbing a lot, you could get under the jab, come up with the uppercut to the body or to the head. Okay, so that's it about the uppercuts. Didn't go too much detail about the hand placement. It's just like a hook, but you're just coming up and it's coming up and you're aiming either for the bottom of the chin or to the body. Okay, now I said in the last video I'll talk about the right hook also, which is this one. Okay, now the right hook, it is not every boxing coach likes it. My first boxing coaches didn't like throwing the right hook because it did leave you open for a long time. But now as I've watched a lot more film, I realized that the right hook is actually a really good punch and you could use it to set other things up. So I could use the right hook to set up my left uppercut. I could use the right hook to the body to bring my opponent's hand down to set up a right hand to the head. So the right hook can be useful for different reasons, but it is a lot more risky than a left hook. So a left hook, like I said in the left hook video, you could just toss it out real quick. The right hook, you can't really just do this unless you're really close, and you could do that. But if you're actually throwing it from a distance, then you almost always have to turn with it, and that's what could be dangerous about it. So every punch I said has an arm punch version and a body punch version, but with the right hook, you almost always have to twist big with it to get it to land. So that is the danger of it. Now I like using it to the body. Okay, so like jabbing, throw a right hand to the head, jabbing, boom, or I like jabbing, boom, jabbing, boom. So there is different reasons. I like it in close, shoulder to shoulder, to the body, to the head. Okay, so there are different uses for the right hook, but it is a lot more dangerous. But I do like it because it gives you more, it gives your opponent more things to consider. If you're just throwing 1-2s, uppercuts and hooks, you're kind of cutting off all of this area that you could attack your opponent from. Okay, so I'm just attacking from here. My opponent doesn't have to think of anything coming around from this side. So, but if I'm giving my opponent every angle to think about defensively when they're fighting. Okay, now I'm going to talk about some punches that are in between a hook and between the uppercut. Okay, whoo. Okay, so with both hands you have the hook, you have the uppercut. Okay, but what's in between those two punches? So here, but what about these punches? What about these punches? What about these punches? What about these punches? I think I've talked about this in the left hook video, but I'm going to talk about it now again. So you don't always have to only throw a right uppercut or a right hook. You don't have to throw a left uppercut or a left hook. You don't always have to go here or here. You're leaving all of this space where my thumbs are unused, basically, and unused angles. So you could throw the hook here, but if you drop it a little bit, you could throw it here. If you drop it a little bit, you could throw it here. If you drop your elbow a little bit, you could throw it here. If you drop it a little bit, you could throw it an uppercut. Same thing with the right hand. If you throw it here, that's good. But if you raise up your elbow a little bit, you could throw it on this angle. If you raise it up a little bit, you could throw it on this angle. If you raise it up a little bit, you could throw it on this angle, and so on. You could even, for the hook, you can go up top and throw it down, okay? So don't just limit yourself to these two angles. Think of your punches as angles. The more angles that you could throw at your opponent, the harder it is for them to defend. So if my opponent only throws right hands and left hooks, I'm always ready to block those because the angles are the same. But if they throw a right hand and a left hook that's coming up, well, I might not catch it. It might actually get through here or to my body, and the angle is going to be harder to defend against. So you want to give your opponent as many angles as you can. One of my favorite fighters, or two favorite fighters, is Roberto Duran and Michael Carbajal. Michael Carbajal, his nickname was actually the Little Hands of Stone because he looked up to Roberto Duran. And what they both did really good is they threw every single type of punch, and that made them really hard to defend against because opponents wouldn't know where the next one is coming from, or they'll get overwhelmed from all the angles. So Michael Carbajal threw right uppercuts, right hook, left hooks, right hooks, left uppercuts, overhand rights, overhand left, straight, jabs, but uppercuts to the body. He threw every single punch in every single angle, and it's so hard to defend against all those angles. So don't limit yourself to the 1, 2, hook, hook, uppercut, uppercut. There's so many different angles that you could work with. So think of a circle, and you're coming in from every different angle against your opponent. Okay, you could try this in hitting the bag or sparring. So I could throw my hook here. I'll just try different angles, see which one works, and you could do it against different defenses, okay? There's not much more I want to say about the uppercut. There are different lessons that I could teach with the uppercut, like setting up the counter uppercut, rolling under with the uppercut, but I'm going to leave those for different videos, shorter videos that will be very specific on the one move. But for this one, I just wanted to share the different ranges to throw the uppercuts, different angles, different reasons, how to set up your uppercut, and just the general basics of an uppercut until we get more in depth, and then we go into more technical lessons. But I hope you learned something new from this video. My next video, I'm not sure what I'll be doing. This is my last video about punches. My next video might be either bag work, how to hit the bag, or head movement, or something a little bit more detailed than the videos I've made so far. But we talked about foot position, we talked about the jab, the right hand, slipping and pivoting, now the hooks and the uppercuts, and that should be it for all of those. Or I might start getting into defense now, okay? So the next video might be about head movement, not just slipping, but all head movement, and then catching punches, parrying punches, defending against the hook. I might go into more defense for each punch, and then we could maybe get more detailed. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time, and have a great day.